move on to the role of the agent. So I'd like to welcome Nadine Power from Datagamz. In this chapter, we are presenting the results, I think, from just over 600 agents that we surveyed. So please welcome Nadine.
Thanks so much, James. Yes, my name's Nadine Power. I head up the product at Datagamz. A little bit about Datagamz. It is a software company, performance management. We do gamification, insights and coaching. So thanks for having me. I am about to talk about your lovely agents, those ones that are at the front line and you're customer facing and represent your brand. With so many contact centre managers in the room, we probably represent tens of thousands of agents, and it's really important that we understand what's important to them. So the first one is talking about flexibility. So what is the importance to them, and how much would they like flexibility? Flexibility has always been around, right? Working mums coming back to work, right? They've always wanted flexibility. I'm one of them. I want to drop off my children, pick them up, make sure I'm at the Christmas concert and the Easter bonnet parade and whatever else may demand. So flexibility has always been there. But the lens of working from home, I think, is increase that flexibility and enhance it even more. So if we have a look here, full flexibility at 35% and very high flexibility at 21%. So we're looking at in total over 55% have responded that they currently have full flexibility. And again, when I talk about flexibility, I'm not just talking about working from home. We're talking about days a week that we're working, hours a week. And I think sometimes when we talk about flexibility, because we could just come out of a pandemic, we always assume that flexibility is just working from home. It's a lot broader than that. And if you could choose, when we surveyed the agents, what percentage of time would they choose to work from home? A bit of a mismatch here as well, if we think about how much flexibility they've got and how much they would like. So when we surveyed them in 2022, 73% wanted their hours to be working from home. So about 3.5 to 4 days a week they would like. Coming out of the pandemic and becoming the norm, we haven't seen much of a shift. We've increased by 1%. We're getting relaxed. We're getting used to it. The gentleman still wants to mow his lawn on lunchtimes on Monday. Is still there, and we've adapted to that. So interesting to see that it's still something that is important to them. But working from home comes with challenges. And we can see here that harder to get assistance, yeah? The challenges of working from your home with your children, your dog's barking, your husband's driving you crazy, yeah? He's trying to set up office next to you. And haven't revealed the top one yet. So hard to get assistance, the absence of waving your arm around, yeah? Or spinning around in your chair in the office, or putting your hands on your cheeks. All that absence is gone. There's no way to get assistance anymore. We're relying on Slack channels and other chat channels to get that attention. So obviously, not surprised to see that is one of the challenges. Talking about people in the house, I talk about one of my personal experiences of calling a contact centre. Her children must have been right next to her, and they were screaming out for Fruit Loops and Coca-Cola. And I'm really hoping they weren't putting them both together. The amount of energy in that house at 9 a.m. was very high, and I think Fruit Loops and Coca-Cola wasn't going to be of benefit to her taking more calls. But again, that was one of the challenges. But no surprise, the top challenge that agents face is a lack of social interaction, yeah? And I think you'd all agree with leaders in here, you would also struggle with that lack of interaction. It doesn't just hit the agents. So what did managers do to combat that in the last 12 months to increase employee engagement? So we can see here the top two, face-to-face activities within the office and face-to-face social activities. So it's great to see that, there's some correlation there, that we feel that one of the challenges is the lack of socialisation, and that the managers are tackling that with, pizzas or having drinks after work and the like. But let's have a look at what activities and issues meant the most to them, and did that correlate to what we were just talking about. So you can see here virtual team activities is 10. If I go back to the next, the one that I just touched on, virtual activities was number 3. So as a solution of what managers were doing to increase socialisation, they were using virtual team activities. But if we have a look at what meant the most, that ranked 10. So are we hitting the nail on the head as to what solutions we're providing and the value that the agents are actually getting out of it? The next one, additional days paid leave, health and wellbeing programs, gifts, unexpected pay rises. Put your hand up if you said that, I'll work for you. No? And let's go through number 5, face-to-face team social activities. Remember from the previous slide, that was 1 and 2. So face-to-face team activities within the office and face-to-face team social activities, they were the 1 and 2 ones that were offered. However, when we ask agents what means the most to them, they're ranking at 4 and 5. More rewards for performance, so we do see an increase in gamification, right? We can associate the performance directly to that behaviour, so they're not just getting willy-nilly pats on the back. It actually means something to them, and it means that they're being invested in, and we know that that's one of the key things that people want, is that to be invested in. They are one of our most valuable assets, which goes on to opportunities for professional development. Think about how much professional development we get when we're working from home, and is that becoming a barrier when we're sitting behind a screen? And the next one is shift flexibility. Been a lot of talk about this. You will see when you do get your surveys, the difference between 1 and 2 is only 1%, so really those top 2 are really important. Again, don't get stuck on that pigeonhole about shift flexibility means working from home. It's broader than that, yeah? So those 2. So what do we believe the most common reasons frontline agents leave contact centres? So if we have a look at it, shift flexibility and remote working. What's remote walking? I'm going to walk with my remote. You can see that they're sitting at 6 and 7. Yeah. So again, we're talking about what's really important, but that's not the reasons why they're leaving. If I talk about that professional development side of things and us investing in our employees, pursue a different career. Maybe if I was invested in my existing career, I would probably maybe invest a little longer in staying in it. But if I'm not getting any professional development, I may choose to go somewhere else. And dissatisfaction with work. And we understand all these things, what's important to them. They were talking about shift flexibility and personal development. So what are the career aspirations? I get really excited about this slide. 12% want to follow career as a team leader in your contact centre. 34% want to follow career specialised role within the contact centre. 23% want to stay within your organisation. And 21% are just happy to be where they are. That's 93% that are an opportunity for you to invest in. Yeah? Like they're screaming out for attention. They may not be screaming out for working from home though. Like I know we're kind of getting derailed a little, I think, with that, and we just got to keep our focus levelled with the professional development that we invest in our staff as well, yeah? And how many times, you know, your interaction is suffering. If this conference was done online, how much would you lack from the experience that you're getting today? You've been able to network, you can make eye-to-eye contact, you're taking my information in differently than if you're staring at a screen for, how many hours does this go for? 4 hours at a screen, like, come on. There would be my children asking for Fruit Loops with Coca-Cola and all things going on. So, but we can see how much more it is when the value we get being face-to-face. So great opportunity there that people, your agents are wanting to stay. They're wanting to be invested, and we all know the price of retaining staff versus acquiring new ones. So something to think about. I'm talking really fast, aren't I? So key findings. Controversial. Working from home and shift flexibility, it is a known want, But we can see that they're not leaving for that reason. It's not the number one reason, it's the 6th and 7th reason. There are other reasons why they're leaving, yeah? But we are putting a lot of focus on this working from home. Lack of socialisation is a known challenge, but are we throwing the right solutions at the lack of socialisation? Yeah, we're saying that we're going to do activities, come in the office, or remote activities, and then you see how they value those, they're still down 6 and 7. Yeah, so are we really solving it? So what I'm saying is, again, looking at the employee value proposition, it is complex, but we do need to have more of a holistic approach towards it. It is shift flexibility. I can't say that too many times in 1 minute. Shift flexibility. But obviously your leadership and how you're managing and how you're communicating and how you're investing in your staff. So that's about it.
Thank you, Nadine. This question has come through kind of a few times. Agents want more flexibility. We've seen that, and they want to be working from home 75% of the time. But at the same time, because of it, they feel, yeah, don't press that button, socially isolated. It's a bit of a conflict here. So how do we meet both the demands of the agent and the customer and the business?
Yeah, and again, I think with shift flexibility is understanding what that shift flexibility actually is. Because again, we just assume that it's working from home. So is there a particular day that, you know, I would like flexibility every day of the week, but you know what, Thursdays is really important to me. I want to get the kids to soccer training. So how can I tailor into that need and at least achieve one of them opposed to this holistic, I just want flexibility.
Yep. Anonymous asks, whoops,
Anonymous.
There we go. Yeah, there's a lot of anonymous. Is part of the problem that senior managers have become too comfortable working from home as well?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Because they're mowing the lawns, right? So, no, I think we all want is what's in it for me, right? So I get and I work from home and I do get benefit with logistics of managing 2 children and my personal life. But I do see the benefit in coming back into the office. Yep. And I think if we dangle that carrot and remind everyone that change management process, that, you know, ADCAR, that desire to come in. Everyone's aware of that they need to come in, but they need to have the desire and see the benefit of coming in. And I think we need to refresh ourselves on what that benefit really is.
Yeah. And finally, how do we ensure, we've got number 2 was professional development. How do we ensure that we're delivering that to a mostly remote workforce now?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone needs to be developed and everyone needs to be invested and have that opportunity. I don't think it should just be poor performers or high performers. I think everyone should have that opportunity. In relation to how you tackle it remotely, obviously, everything has to be bite-sized. I'm a big, very, very much about micro-learning as well and drip feeding them and see what they've got an appetite for and see what works. Because, again, if this was a 4-hour session, you wouldn't absorb the information. So just don't do it and tick the box. Make sure you're doing it and actually is worthwhile, the medium that you use, and maybe it is, you know what, this only works face-to-face.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank Nadine from Datagamz.
Thank you.
Nadine.